Morning everyone, it's Jan, Not a Real Farm. Sunday morning at about 8:30. We're just about to get to do some planting today. We're not going to look at the tables. I've decided this morning we're just going to take a look at the plants throughout the rest of the greenhouse because we looked at the tables yesterday. And we're going to show you some of the progress that's happened with a lot of the plants over the last week. It's amazing what a couple of degrees in the temperature will do. But it's beautiful here. We're going to be able to take advantage, finally, of getting some stuff done. Guys, it's been doing nothing but raining, but today the skies are clear and the rest of the week is going to be warm and wonderful. So hopefully this is the start to the garden season. So one of the things I'm going to start out with this morning that we never showcase here at Not a Real Farm is the coffee plants that we have growing. They've made significant progress. I've actually had to make the buckets a little bit bigger. You can see here that they've actually began to grow really fast. I've got a lot of new leaves on this one. And it's warm enough now that they can actually just start staying out in the greenhouse overnight. So we've made some progress with temperature for sure. Here's the other coffee plant. Just going to get closer. This guy has really given me new leaves. Now, in the beginning, when we first tried to sit him out in the greenhouse, it was a little bit too cold. You can see here, he got shocked a little bit because it was I think, about -2 Celsius. And this plant said, no, not me. I don't like that temperature. So we brought him back inside, but now he's good. So you can see here on the top, lots of tiny new leaves. So they're really growing and really beautiful. I've decided to sit them out here by the chair, so when it's coffee time, I can just sit here and admire them. But these should be giving us coffee beans within the next couple of years. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to basically pick our own coffee beans for ourselves and roast them and have our own coffee. But for now, I just like to look at them. Okay, and here we go with the grapes. So anybody that's interested in growing grapes in the greenhouse, we always tend to find grapes when you're looking at pictures. The grapes are already sort of developed and they don't really show what the grapes look like sometimes when you look at pictures when they're first starting out. So here you go. I just wanted to show you. I can get in close enough. Let me see if I can move the camera in closer. It's going to be blurry. There we go. You can see here that the grape is already starting to form and how small they look when they first start. It started to bunch out here. So remember, when we were looking at the grape the last time, I think maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was saying that I was doing a technique called forcing. And forcing basically is controlling the length of the branch. And what I did was I kept 3 nodes. So one here, there's actually one here that was viable, and one here where you see the other leaves sticking out. And the reason I do that is because it allows the grape now to focus on only a specific amount of nodes, as opposed to letting it branch out so much that the energy is focused into the vine. I want the energy focused into the grape. So as you can see, that's actually worked. You can see now that I've got a cluster of grapes here on this one. Let's see if we've got any more. It's actually growing quite rapidly. It's really just starting to begin. So I'm glad that I found that one. Oh, yep. And hopefully I can get you to see this guy. If I can twist it a little bit for you. You can clearly see through there. There's another cluster of grapes that's happening. Oh, and there's one. Let me see if I can get the camera close enough. Oh, gosh. Let me see. There we go. Right in here. There's another. My bars are in the way, unfortunately. There's another cluster of grapes happening in here. So far, let me make sure. Yeah, so far we have 3 viable clusters of grapes, and I think I might see another one. Let me swing around to the other side here. Here we go. And we have a cluster right in there. Hopefully my camera is clear enough that you can see that. So I've got 4 clusters of grapes so far confirmed on this plant. And that was simply based on the fact of, like I said, the technique that's called forcing. And what we're going to do, I just swung over to the other side, is obviously once these branches become weighted with the grapes, we're now going to tack the grape right to the trellis. And then that way, what'll happen is once it starts throwing more leaves, it's gonna wrap itself around and it can brace itself, but we're gonna brace it anyway to make sure that we don't lose that cluster of grapes. So we'll reinforce it when we get an opportunity, but guys, it's working. We're getting grapes in the greenhouse, awesome. And finally, I was able to bring the fig tree from the our little porch inside the house. We left it in there, the porch is unheated. We were able to actually successfully keep the fig tree alive. It's perfectly fine. We've got some nice leaves on here. Now, I put it out last night in the greenhouse, trying to harden it off a little bit. It's a little bit angry this morning because it was a little bit cool in here last night, but it will recover now that the temperatures are starting to really, really get warm. You can see here it's been starting to give me really nice leaves. There's some more leaves coming out here at the top. And I'm really thinking that this is going to give me some figs this year. This will be the second year growth for this plant, so I'm thinking we might be lucky with some figs. See here, it's starting to give me more leaves. So the one thing that I gotta watch out with figs is you can see here we've got, hopefully, I don't know if that'll show up on there. You see that little white, it almost looks like something white in front of my hand here. That's spider mites. So we got to get rid of these spider mites. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to spray it. I don't want to, but spider mites can get out of control. And then, of course, move on to your other plants. You can see I've got more here. If I can move my hand in front of it. You can see there's little white, so like little white spots in front of my hand. That's spider mites. So we'll get rid of it, we'll clean it up, make sure that they don't go over into the other plants. But the fig tree is doing amazing. There's gonna be a lot of different things growing in here this year. And the fig tree, I'm looking at it as a win because honestly, I wasn't really sure it was gonna survive our winter, but it did. So now I have to sort of step just a little backwards here so you can see the roses. I've got one coming up this side and one coming up this side. And they're getting so tall that if I move any closer, you won't actually be able to see the height, but they basically stop right about there. This one has given me significant growth. It was really shorter than the other one, but it has really grown. So I suspect we'll probably have a trellis full of roses probably next year. I don't know if they're going to actually meet in the middle this year up the top, but I'm suspecting they will most likely next year. But having said that, I do have rosebuds coming in on this. You can see how full it is once I cross over. That's awesome. They were only a foot high maybe last year if you look at some of my videos. And if I look way up here, I just have to reach. You can see that I actually have rosebuds happening. Now my birthday is May 29th. So what I'm doing is I'm hoping that I will have these roses open as a birthday gift by then. I've got tons of rosebuds this year. Check this out. And then let's take a peek at the other one. If you remember, this one was actually significantly lower, but it's decided for whatever reason that on this side it wants to grow up this way. So this one's got a lot of buds on it too. There's a rosebud here. And I apologize for the sun in the way. Oh my gosh, look at all of the buds on this one. I apologize if the sun is sort of not allowing the camera to be a little bit clearer. I have to do these videos first thing in the morning before it gets so hot in here that the phone camera and myself melt. More buds. So this is a success. It's going to smell amazing in here. Not only that, but the roses bring the bees in. When the bees are ready to show up, boy, do they ever love these roses. Got more over here. So yeah, so the roses are doing amazing. Let's take a look at other stuff. And here we go. I remember, what was it, a couple of videos ago, we did this for fun. It was just an herb planter that I put together. So we've got some thyme in here. We've got summer savory, parsley, a little bit of celery. We've got some zinnias in here for some color. I've also got a mandarin lemon balm, which I'm thinking is going to taste amazing. Some dill, because I love dill. And like I said, this will all fill in. I think I even threw some garlic in here somewhere and some basil. But this will all fill in, and you can just come along and snip it if you need it for some herbs. And here we go. Our infamous horseradish patch. Now, you guys can tell just how much this has grown in the last 2 weeks since I've been doing videos. It is a huge patch of horseradish. So, like I said, I'm going to be cutting some of this and putting it up in the store because I will not be able to use all this horseradish. But what I wanted to show you was this. So, remember I was saying that if you don't contain horseradish, it will walk across your yard? Well, take a look at this. So I've got to eradicate this one on the outside. And it's actually gone around the wheel here, just my little stand. You can see that. So horseradish is super invasive. So I have to keep this contained. I have to get rid of this and make sure that it doesn't walk across my greenhouse floor. We got to get rid of that. But trust me when I say, please make sure that you've got it contained because it goes crazy and then all of a sudden you've got horseradish and you don't know how to get rid of it. So I just wanted to show you that sometimes even though you've got it contained, it still somehow gets out. It's crazy. So that's really it for us today, guys. I thought I'd give you a higher shot up here so you can see the overview of the greenhouse in the morning. It's a great place to have coffee and contemplation first thing in the morning before it gets too hot. But we wanted to say thanks so much to all the new subscribers. Thanks to everyone who has given us a thumbs up or subscribed to our videos and our channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. Hope all of you are having a wonderful Sunday morning. See you soon.